Alright YouTube, we're going to try out some of this McNett camo form on the H&R 308, and I think what I want to do here is take down the rifle a little bit so it'll be easier to deal with, be easier to wrap around. One thing I don't want to do is take the scope off, because that baby is perfectly zeroed and I don't know if it'll return to perfect zero. It should, theoretically, right? But the way I look at it is, if it ain't broke, I can break it. I need to fix it. Okay, so that's really all there is to separating the rifle into two sections. So now, one of the parts that I'm really concerned with scratching is this really pretty stock here. It would be very easy for me to damage this out in the field carrying this around. So this would be a great thing to wrap up, in my opinion. And I'm imagining, since this is the part that I would be holding, that this would be a good place to start from and then end it down here where I'm not really going to be touching it very much. So let's try it. It's just probably going to be like wrapping a bandage. If you guys ever remember the old 10 speeds where you had to wrap tape around the bicycle handlebars, or if you had a tennis racket and you needed to tape up the handle for grip. So this is the McNett, and wow, okay, it is definitely sticking to itself a lot. So I guess it's going to work great. Let's see if I can get it off of there. Wow, that stuff clings to itself like nuts. Oh my gosh. Wow, that required a little more effort than I was expecting. So, let's see. I'm figuring just get right up here and wrap it all the way around itself. Yeah, I like this idea a lot better than trying to do this with the whole gun together. I think this is going to be a lot easier. Okay, so it says that you apply it and then kind of stretch it. Okay, so I've applied it and stretched it, and now you should probably have a towel down. I'm probably going to beat the gun up just doing it here on the table, aren't I? Yeah, that probably would have been a good idea, huh? Just to have something to protect the gun while I'm wrapping it. My luck, I'll scratch it up before I ever even get started. Okay, alright, so there's the starting wrap. Now they say just overlap it 1/4 of an inch, and I can see it's quite opaque. You can't see through this stuff at all. So I think you can make a pretty wide wrap on it. But this is kind of a funny shape too. So I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do a 1/4 inch wrap at this point, because once I start going around this angle, it's going to want to go this way. So I think I got to go a lot tighter on it this way. Pull it really tight so there's no baggy wrinkles in it. If you've ever been a sailor, you know what a baggy wrinkle is. You don't want no baggy wrinkles in your sail. Okay. Get that thing really tight. Okay, it looks like I'm going to be able to capture this profile maybe, huh? Nope, see, yeah, I'm missing it right there. This is a tricky angle to get around, in my opinion. Maybe I just didn't start off at the right angle with it. It's nice because you can keep working it until you get it the way you want. So that's pretty cool. I don't really want it all thick and lumpy around it. I just want to catch this part right here somehow. Wow, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all, man. It's going to leave a gap. Alright. Wow, stuff's very conformable, but it seems to me certain angles are going to be really tricky. So, okay, now it looks like I'm getting close to being able to catch that top. Right, let's feel what that feels like. Yeah, there's a little, this is what I meant by a little baggy wrinkle where you get a little crease in it. I don't think that'll be too bad. It looks like I can smooth it out with my finger. Okay, that's pretty cool. You can hear me slamming the gun against the table. Isn't that awesome? Here I am trying to protect the gun from damage. Beating the heck out of it in the process, right? What I don't want is I don't want it to all gather up on itself and be all gnarly. Oh, come on, guy. You gonna do it or not? I'm really stretching the heck out of this stuff, so this is a pretty good test of of this material and how well it conforms and everything. Wow, it's conforming pretty good. Okay. What's nice about this is you can take it off. If it gets wet, you definitely have to take it off because it'll rust the gun. It's not waterproof. It will trap water and it'll ruin your metal. Probably metal, you ruin your wood. Now you see, it's just like when you're taping your ankle or something from a sprain. You can see this is not going to work because it sets me off at a crazy angle. I'm wondering if I need to approach this from a different perspective. Yeah, this is the problem, is once you start going around this angle, it's going to want to take off like this. It's not going to be very helpful. And if I try and make it wrap around here, it's going to get baggy. So let's pull it off again. This is what's nice about this stuff. You can definitely have a few shots at it, huh? It's almost like you have to go this way with it, and you're going to end up with this here, and maybe I can wrap that around the second time. So maybe you can't get it on the first shot. I think that's the way it is. Yeah, so you had to kind of X back over it. Now I can cover that gap. There we go. Now I'm going to get it. Okay, so now I covered the gap, but unfortunately it's taken off at a crazy angle. This might be a good time to cut this, and then I can trap the cut part and then wrap the rest of it pretty normally. So since I have plenty of this material, and it's cheap, so if I need to replace it I can. How about if I just bond that right to there, trim this off right here. Okay, that was a little tricky getting that around there. That was an interesting experience. So I did manage to get this part. Now, I think if I were to start again, wow, that feels really good. I like the way this feels. It's kind of rubbery feeling. So now, let's see if I can get this right. Now, if we were just to go this way with it, I think this will trap everything. That's good.
Okay.
Thank you, John. Keep going, buddy. Okay. You got your reading journal to do, right? You got lots of work to do. You don't have to come in here and do anything. You got to go back to your table and finish your homework, honey. Sorry, guys. I am also a parent as well as a tactical nut. So I have to get my kid doing his homework. Okay, so now I've managed to cover all of it. The only thing I don't like is maybe this part here looks like that might roll up on me. Okay. Now, once I get to this point, this is where I think I can spread out a little more, and I can do that. They say just 1/4 of an inch is all you need. So yeah, now I can get it spread out to that 1/4 of an inch. This part of the wrap is relatively easy to do. This part is a piece of cake compared to that dog leg right there. Didn't mean to get out of frame, guys. I'm sorry if I did get out of frame. Just doing the best I can here. And I'm slightly distracted because my son's hovering around because I guess he thinks he needs to ask me something, but he really doesn't. All he needs to do is say something. Okay, so let's see how this works. Stuff is gripping super nice. I like how it's gripping. There's no problem there. Probably could overlap it a little bit less and save on the material, you know, because the more coverage you get, the more gun you can cover. Now, I'm curious to see how much a roll will do. I was kind of hoping I could do this gun and my shotgun. Not sure though. Okay, and as you come around, you just kind of keep an eye on the angle. Now I'm noticing that I'm getting some threads going off the edge. I think I could just snip those, or else it could be a mess. Now, when I come up to this stud, which I'm not using right now, but I may use later, I think I'll just be able to poke a hole right through, and the stud will just be able to stick right out through it. So let's pull that really height over that. Yeah, see, yeah, it's already starting to poke a little hole through it. So I think if I made a little slit right there, I don't want to do that though, I don't want to scratch the metal. We'll get to that. When I get around to running a sling on this, then I'll deal with it. And I'm not worried about going up over the buttstock. Just want to, I mean the recoil pad, I just want to, I'll go parallel to the recoil pad. You see what I'm doing now? Maybe this is a better angle for you guys. I don't know. And this is where I want to terminate. I want to terminate it. And now I've done about half the roll, so it looks like one roll per gun is what it's looking like to me. At least if you do it the way I'm doing it. Okay, so before I cut this, I may rewrap it. But that's what you end up with. And it doesn't feel like it's going to come off at all. It adds some grip to the gun too. I can imagine that would be quite handy in certain circumstances. Okay, so there's the first step. And here, let me pause the camera, and we'll get back to doing this barrel part. We'll see how the barrel wraps. Barrel should wrap pretty easy by comparison.